Welcome to this week's Financial Tip Tuesday, where I'm going to go over the rule of 72, which can help you figure out how long it will take for you to double your money. There are other formulas where you can get an exact number, but the rule of 72 is a nice, easy, quick formula for you to get an average that's pretty close to how long it's going to take to double your money. A couple of things to touch on before we go over is one, this formula works best for rate of returns between 6% and 10%, and it also is for compounding interest. So let's get into it. Here's an example. If you take 72, you divide it by the rate of return, that will get you the number of years for your money to double. So if we take 72 divided by 6%, it's going to take around 12 years for your money to double. On the other side, if you take 72 divided by 10, that gets you about 7.2 years for your money to double. And this really goes down to where they say your first million is the hardest, is because with compounding interest, when you're starting with a larger amount, it's a lot easier for you to double. If you start with $10,000 and it takes 7.2 years for that to double into $20,000, if you would instead start with $100,000 in 7.2 years, you might be able to double it to $200,000. So once you have money, it does get easier. And so when you're starting out on your journey, one of the biggest things that you might want to focus on is actually your work, your labor, your time, what you're putting in to try to earn more money and use that money to start investing. One of the hard things with using a formula like this is it can be difficult sometimes to know what your rate of return is actually going to be. Over 30, 40 years, the stock market might be a little bit more predictable about what your rate of return is going to be, but over a 5, 7, 8-year period, it's going to be a lot less predictable on what your rate of return is going to be. So this formula might be harder to figure out when you're not guaranteed that specific rate. And then one last caveat, always remember that risk and return always go hand in hand. So if somebody is promising you a 30, 40, 50% return, so you can double your money in a couple of years, that definitely means that it is either a scam or that is very, very high risk and you may not want to put your money into it. Or if you do, just realize that it might be very risky and you might lose everything. So feel free to try the formula out and let me know what you think. I hope this helps and I hope you have a great week.